Good morning, guys. Happy New Year. Happy January 3rd, 2024. It's probably around 7:30 now in the morning. I set my alarms for 4:15 or 4 o'clock, 4:10, and 4:15, and I guess I must have needed the sleep today because I did not want to wake up, and I didn't end up waking up until like 6 something, and yeah, it's just one of those days. But that's totally okay because I didn't necessarily need to wake up at 4 o'clock today. It wasn't an essential. It was just that I did that yesterday. And if you guys know, you know, I'm psychotic and I used to do that every day, like a year and a half ago probably. And I was obsessed with doing it. I loved it so much. I loved the way that I felt, but that just was no longer realistic anymore. So I haven't been in like that whole routine of doing things like that in a really long time. And then when I was home for Christmas at my parents' house, I magically, suddenly, somehow got back into that routine, and it was so easy to get back into the routine there, probably because that's where I adopted the routine to begin with. But anyway, I did that yesterday and I had the most productive, insane day. It was amazing. Almost a little too productive in terms of I was almost twiddling my thumbs because there wasn't enough for me to do, but that's fine. Today is not that type of day. We are taking it a little bit slower, I guess, today. I don't know. Anyway, I'm starting off the morning with some coffee. This morning, I've already, what have I done? I woke up, did my 5-minute morning meditation, and then I did my journaling, my morning journal session, followed by going over my January through July goals. So, if you guys have been following me for a while, you have seen that whole routine of everything. Oh, and then while I was reading over my goals and doing all of that, I was doing oil pulling in the process. And if you don't know what oil pulling is, it's basically I take coconut oil, take the coconut oil that is not a liquid, and just swish it around kind of aggressively in my mouth for 5 minutes or more, honestly. Apparently, there's just a lot of benefits to doing it, such as helping with oral health, or I've heard of benefits that can help with digestion. It's also a natural teeth whitener, so there's just a lot of benefits that can come from doing it. I don't think oil pulling is really well studied. I could be wrong about that, but it is one of those things where it's if people have seen results in doing so and using it doing it consistently and it doesn't hurt, then why not? If you want to do it, do it. So I've been doing that probably since September or October, the beginning of October, something like that, consistently almost every single day. So I'm having some rice cakes with peanut butter and blueberries for breakfast. As I was saying before though, there's a little fuzzy in the way. If you've been following along for a while now, you would probably have seen that whole morning routine that I was just talking about at some point in time, because I feel like that is one thing about my morning routine that really hasn't changed much throughout the past couple of years. Maybe some things here and there, but that is one thing that's basically stayed the same no matter what time of day it is that I'm waking up. That has stayed pretty consistent. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because with New Year's, I feel like a lot of people feel pressured to start this whole new life basically, and this whole new routine that can sometimes be unrealistic for a lot of people if you aren't already in the habit of doing, for me, waking up, doing a meditation, journaling, going over my goals, doing oil pulling, and then afterwards, after I'm done eating, I'm going to take my Armra colostrum. If that is all new to you, that could be daunting and really stressful, or maybe not to everybody, but I feel as though putting that stress on yourself to start this whole new life and routine can be difficult. And I often feel like my greatest advice to people when they are trying to improve their life is to gradually start doing it. It's not going to happen overnight where this is just going to be easy. But even for me, I fall off doing my routines and habits, all the time. It happens all the time, but I've been doing these things for years. I've been doing the meditation, the journal, and the reading over my goals every morning for years now. So those three things were already a habit that I've been in doing for years. That's not changing, nothing new here. Over the past couple of months is when I started doing the oil pulling. So just incorporating that into the routine and habit stacking that made it easy to incorporate, so that I was doing it every morning. So now when I go over my goals, I oil pull at the same time, killing two birds with one stone. But all that to say is that things take time. It's not a race, especially if you really are serious about your future and setting goals and you really want to better your life and get in the habit of doing something, whatever that something is. I hope it's something that's going to benefit your life in the long run. That's not going to happen overnight, and I just am saying this in being honest with you guys, and also I want you to be realistic with yourself because I want you to achieve your goals, but it will likely take some time to get in the habit of doing something. I just don't want you guys to be disappointed because I have been there countless times myself. If you guys recall last year, I think I was vlogging during this time because I was doing 75 hard, but I kept trying to get in the routine around this time last year of waking up super early in the morning, doing my workout, and I just could not do it. My body was just not having it. It was not the time of my life to be working or to getting up at 4 a.m. like I had been wanting to for so long. It just wasn't working out. And once I finally let go of that and just let things be, that ease of getting up earlier, not maybe to that extent, but getting up earlier again, it came back around. But that just wasn't the time of my life where I was meant to be waking up at 4 a.m. So I fell off. I fall off all the time, and it's just getting back on and continuously going at it and trying over and over and over again. Or say one day I forget to oil pull, it's okay. The next day, just make sure I do it. It's just constantly a reminder to never fall off, but get back on. And I want that to be a reminder to you guys too, because I know how hard it could be, and I know how hard I've been on myself in the past of falling off and feeling like a failure. You're not a failure. Get back on and try again. And I promise you, time and time again, it will become a routine and it will become an easy habit that a couple months from now, you might fall off, throughout the month of January, let's say. But say come July, you will be in the habit of doing whatever it is that you're in the habit of doing, and you'll look back on January when you just couldn't get in the habit of doing it, and you'll think how easy it is now that you are in the habit of doing whatever it is 6 months later. You know what I mean? So that's just something I want to share with you guys because I'm a big habit girly, but I know how hard it is to develop habits sometimes, and it's not always easy. So give yourself some grace. The new year is great, and there's so much good, obviously, that comes with the new year and all the motivation and goal setting and things like that come at the beginning of the new year. But it also, I feel like, is oftentimes a lot of pressure and societal pressure in a way to have your life figured out and to be perfect at setting goals and achieving them, and that's just 110% not realistic. So that's just a little tidbit that I wanted to leave you with because I'm a habit girly. I love habits, but I know how hard it can be to get in the habit of doing something. What I'm quickly doing now, and there's no reason why I'm doing it at this hour of the day, but it's just because I'm really trying to get in the habit of doing this every single day, or at least once a week. But I am trying to get back in the habit of setting a monthly budget. And I'm doing this through EveryDollar, which is a budgeting app, and it's through the Ramsey Solutions like university or whatever you want to call it. Right now I'm going through all of my transactions from the start of January, and I'm assigning them to each designated slot. So I'm trying to keep up with doing that as often as I possibly can, so that it's not like something I have to do all at once. Like later down the road, I want to keep up with it as much as possible to make it a habit that's easy to maintain. But I did I recorded a podcast episode yesterday that I will be putting out this week. So by the time this video goes live, that episode will already be out. I will have it linked down below, where I talk all about budgeting, my history with budgeting, and how I specifically budget, It's pretty self-explanatory once you get the app, or like even just look up about EveryDollar. It's basically zero-based budgeting. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, zero-based budgeting. And once you like understand that, it's pretty self-explanatory. But that's something that I used to be in the habit of doing, was never really great at, and really fell off last year. And I'm not trying to be that way this year. I'm trying to get back into it and stay on top of it, so that when July comes around, it is something that I don't think twice about. It is something that's just naturally in my routine that I'm already doing, and it's not daunting to like think about or plan for, because it's just something I'm already doing, you know? So I just went through and did all of that right now. It literally took me like 2 minutes as of I'm filming this clip. So that's all done, but now let's get ready for the day. I feel like this happens to me every couple of months, or I don't know, like at least once a year. If you are a creator yourself, you might also be able to relate, but I go through this like crisis of thinking like, what am I posting on social media? Like, is it aligned with my values and like what I want to be posting? What even do I want to be posting? Like, I don't know. It's just this like crisis that I feel like I go through at least once a year. And I will say that's where I have been feeling the pressure this year already. Not already, but like with end of year, beginning of year review in business, it's definitely good to do like an end of year review and talk about next year, where you want to be, what you want to accomplish, etc., and like what you need to improve on in the new year. So that's been something that I've been thinking about for the past couple of weeks now, and truly I like get in this place where I'm like, I don't even know what I want to be posting on each platform, and I feel as though I've been like molding to what's trending or what other people are posting, rather than like staying true to myself, what I'm naturally good at, what I can actually offer people, like what my values are and what would be valuable to other people as well. And also just like why people even started following me to begin with, like why I even like just naturally fell into this job in the first place, and going back to those roots. So like it's always good to obviously adapt with the times and the trends, because with social media, things change so frequently, which is why I really like this industry. It's a fast-paced, ever-changing industry that you definitely do have to keep up with, but there's a fine line of keeping up with the industry and adapting to it in a way that feels natural and authentic to you. And then there's just molding into everything everybody else is doing, and like not really setting yourself apart in the process because you are just following what everybody else is doing, you know, that kind of vibe. And I don't really find myself doing this like too often, but when I look at the overall year, I'm like, wow, there is so many times where I felt as though I needed to be doing something specific, like a trend or a style of filming and editing, because it was trending. And that's just, I had so many ebbs and flows throughout this past year where in reality, like although I was staying true to myself across the board, when I look back at my content, I'm like, wow, that's just not a reflection of me whatsoever. And it's not like I wasn't posting the best that I could post. I wasn't posting stuff that I am really good at and that I can like actually, I wasn't posting like valuable content, as much valuable content as I feel like I could have. I was kind of just all over the place with what I was posting, if that makes sense. And you guys might not be able to see it. I don't know if you can or not, because I would say that my content is authentic to me, but when you look at the larger picture, I was just posting, like I said, all over the place, and that's not authentic to me. And that was kind of just like fitting or trying out different things that didn't necessarily align with like my purpose, what value I can provide for people. It just was not aligned whatsoever. So that is definitely something that I am like very aware of. It's just, I think it's a little bit more difficult to be aware of it when it's you and your content that you're talking about. I'm a marketer. I love marketing. That's what I went to school for. So I love looking at other people's pages or other businesses, small businesses, and assessing like where they're currently at and where they're missing the mark and like what they need to be doing. But it's a lot harder for me to look internally and do the same exact analysis for myself, and then also to follow through with that analysis and stick to that schedule, or stick to that specific realm of content that I need to be posting in, that I know that I'm best at, and that would provide the most value for people. So with all that being said, this year is definitely the year that I really want to be mindful of it. I'm aware of it. Now I just actually need to be mindful of it and need to take the right action and make it a habit. We were talking about habits a lot today, but it truly is just getting in the habit of creating that style of content and posting that style of content continuously. And I just want to feel more aligned with what I'm putting out and know that it's helping somebody or providing value for the audience that initially followed me in the first place for what I was originally posting. So anyway, that's kind of my goal, one of my bigger goals for the year in terms of business. A simpler goal, but honestly, it's just a lot harder to actually implement. I think this year too, I want to put more of an emphasis and priority on YouTube content and podcasting, and have at least one upload a week on each of those platforms, because these are the platforms where I could talk about things like this. These are not the things that people are following me for on my TikTok or my Instagram. People are following me over there for fashion, basically. Fashion and like real life content, but like mainly fashion. So, and fitness stuff. But more so than anything, this platform, I feel like, and my podcasts are two platforms where I can go into depth about my actual thoughts and my experience, my expertise, etc., and explain that to you guys in a longer form video. I could show the behind the scenes. I could, talk about things like this, habits, goals, etc., even go more in depth about fitness and routines, how to develop a routine, all of that stuff. I could do that on here, but I need to separate the two more specifically, like the two different styles of content on the two different types of platforms. So that is what you can expect from my YouTube and my podcast. If that's the style of content you like, then subscribe. Subscribe to both the podcast and my YouTube. It looks like it could be warmer out than it is, but I'm pretty sure it's only like 50 some degrees out right now. So I'm gonna go out, shoot content, do all that stuff, and then come back here and work for a little bit. And then at 12 o'clock, I've got to do some work and stuff like that between now and 12 o'clock. We're going to F45 at 12 o'clock, and then we have a laundry list of things we've got to do after that. So let's get this day started. I didn't end up going to a coffee shop because I still had coffee left over from the coffee shop I went to yesterday. So I just am gonna have that, and I went out and just shot my outfit, came back, and now I'm going to schedule out all the content for the day, do emails and things like that. So that's what I'll be doing for the next couple of hours. That's pretty boring, so I really won't be showing much of that whatsoever. I completely forgot that I was vlogging for a moment, but it is currently 11:11, Of course, Netflix is not working right now, but I'm on my walking pad. One of my goals for the new year is to get back into the routine of going on a daily walk, which I had fallen off quite a while ago. I just haven't been in the routine of doing it probably since like the summer or even the spring. So I got a walking pad for this place in specific. I have one at home, but I wasn't able to bring it to Florida. So I got a new walking pad for here, and this is going to allow me to be able to walk no matter what time of day it is, no matter the conditions outside. I literally have no excuse. I'm going to get in a walk every single day, and at least like 20 to 30 minutes of a walk. Just enough time where I can like truly get into the groove of it, you know? So I'm gonna do that for probably about 30 minutes, because then I'm gonna go to F45 at 12 o'clock. While I walk, I'm going to do work on my phone. I save specific work tasks that I can do on my phone for this specific activity so that I don't need my laptop or anything. Normally at home I would have like my standing desk that I could have my laptop on and do other sorts of work, but I don't have that here. So we're just gonna be working from my phone. I'm gonna throw on a Netflix show and we're gonna walk away for like 30 minutes. I just ended up doing 25 minutes because I didn't really have much work that I needed to do on the treadmill, or I guess it just took a lot faster than I was anticipating. So it's currently 11:37. I gotta leave here at 11:50 to go work out. So I should probably fill you guys in before I leave, because once I leave for the gym, it's going to be one thing after the other, so I won't really have a moment to catch you guys up to speed. But I'm going to F45 for 12. At 12:45, I have a cryotherapy session scheduled. That will probably just take a few minutes. And then I have the I think it's called like HBOT or something like that. It's a hyperbolic oxygen chamber, or something along those lines. I have that scheduled from 1 to 2:30, and then after that at 2:30 to 3, I have red light therapy scheduled. So these are new things that I'm implementing into my routine for this year. This is to the extreme level. I feel like this is not something that you need to be doing by any means. This is also definitely very expensive, and something that I decided literally like December 30th that I was going to invest in while I'm here in Florida for the next couple of months. I really just am looking to take my wellness up a notch, like up many notches. But again, I want to stress that this is by no means necessary whatsoever, because I understand that these things are definitely a luxury and are not accessible for many people, nor are they accessible even like in most areas. I feel like I just got lucky with being in St. Pete. They have 2 locations here where all of these services and more are offered at this like wellness center, and for the price of what you actually get for like a membership, it's like insanely cheap for what you get, but not cheap by any means. So again, this is just like not necessary, but this is what I want to be doing and what I want to invest in, and I am so blessed and fortunate that I am able to invest in these things. And this is honestly just like fun for me, because I take wellness and health so seriously that this is just like really tapping into things that I have never done before, and I would love to like learn more about what it does to my body in the process. So this is kind of like an experiment and research for myself and my body, and what implementing these things into my life regularly and daily will do for my body overall. So I'm just excited. This is kind of like an experiment for me, but by no means is this necessary. Again, I just want to stress that you do not have to be doing this stuff. And one of the things that they offer is actually contrast therapy, which is basically going in a cold plunge and then going to a hot tub, and you can go between warm or hot, I guess, water to cold water. So it's like one extreme to the next, and that has so many benefits. If you have been following along for a little bit, I started doing plunges and face well, face dunks, I guess, like cold water therapy for my face this past summer. I was able to do all of that stuff at home. So like there are things that you can do at home. Again, this is just like taking it to an extreme level that most people wouldn't, and I'm psychotic, so I am taking it to that level. But I'm excited to bring you guys along with and just like show you guys what that whole process is like. The 3 things I mentioned today are 3 new things that I'm trying. I've never tried any of these things. I've done red light therapy on my face, like going for a facial. They put sometimes like a mask, like a physical mask that you wear. That is red light therapy. But I think what I'm going to be doing today is basically, it looks like a tanning bed, but it's just straight up red light therapy for your entire body. And there's so many health benefits to each of these things that I'm just so excited to like see what it does for me, my body, my health, etc. So I will be taking you guys along with. Yesterday I did 4 different things, 4 things that I'm more familiar with, but today these are 3 new things that I am not really familiar with whatsoever aside from red light therapy. I don't think that's going to be scary, but the other 2 are going to be a little bit out of my comfort zone, so I will take you guys along with. That's the plan. That's what we're doing after the workout, and it's gonna be like one thing after the other. So I'll show you guys as much as I can, but let's head to F45. I must have missed at the beginning of class where he said that it was one lap around the room, 2 sets per station. I thought there was 2 laps around the room, so it's halfway through. Like, I'm so hungry, and because I have all these appointments afterwards, I'm like, I'm not gonna have time to eat lunch. Like, I really should have prepared for this ahead of time, but I didn't. So I was like, I'm really hungry. I really want to get something to eat before my appointments. And then I asked him what time it was, and I realized class was almost over and that there were only one lap around the room, but 2 sets per station. That class was so hard though, but when you are so hungry and running on no fuel, like, I don't know if you're like me, but I can't work out like that. I'm so hungry. I need to eat. So I'm gonna try and get something to eat before this cryotherapy appointment. I'm the idiot that schedules myself like this. I should have planned appropriately. Do not learn from my mistakes.
Let me just clean it up because it just came out. Try to relax.
We're almost finished, I'm pretty sure. Okay, lastly, I just have red light therapy. You take off all of your clothes, so I'm not going to vlog, but this is a 25-minute session. All right, well, that was fun. I am now so tired from just like laying there through all of that. Like, it wasn't enough time to get into like a deep sleep by any means, but it was enough to make you like tired. So I should have done something that would give me energy, like PEMF, to give me a little energy boost. But I got kava. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, I think I vlogged a little bit of that. I got kava and I didn't even have time to end up eating it before going in there, and it's now 3 o'clock and I am starved. So we are going home now to eat, and I've got a lot of work that I've got to finish for the day. So that's all fun. Your girl's gotta eat. So that is my first priority right now, because I had those rice cakes. I had those rice cakes for breakfast. So we gotta eat and drink water. Drink water is a must as well, especially after going through all of that that we just did. It's really great for you. However, you definitely need to hydrate after things like that in general. And if you are also like me and one of your goals for the new year, or for me it's just for the month of January as of right now, I mean, I want it to be for the year, but one step at a time, is to eat out less. And here we are getting kava. Listen, sometimes when you are in a pinch, you gotta do what you gotta do. You can't stress over it. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Tomorrow we do better. But this, we are trying our best, and this is still a delicious, healthy meal. So that is what matters most. Fuel your body with what is best in that moment. This is what I needed. So gonna eat this, and I'll catch up with you guys after I shower. I'm on my second Stanley of the day. We're behind on the water intake for the day, but when I sit at my computer, I'm about to start editing. So when I sit here and I edit, I go through one of these so fast because I literally just sit here like this while I sip my water. So that should be gone in no time, but I'm going to get to editing podcast episode that I will likely now be uploading tomorrow. The one I was talking about earlier. I'm pretty sure I was mentioning this podcast earlier. So I'm gonna edit that now and get that all scheduled to go live tomorrow. Since I literally just ate 2 hours ago and had that big bowl of kava, which was like 2 meals in one basically, for dinner I'm just gonna have a little sad looking charcuterie board that I made, or like charcuterie plate. I got a bunch of stuff a while ago for charcuterie, and then like obviously picked up more cheeses and meats recently, but I am just trying to use up loose ends of the bigger charcuterie board that I made. So we have a little Parmesan cheese, pepperoni, mozzarella balls and pesto, unexpected cheddar from Trader Joe's, these crackers from the Italian market. I got these at the Italian market. I think these are either fig or cranberry, something like that. We have smoked almonds from Trader Joe's. This is a blueberry walnut something jam. Very good. And then an olive mix that I got from the Italian market as well. So I'm gonna eat this while I watch an episode of not Designated Survivor, what's it called? House of Cards. House of Cards, this, and right now we are taking a break from the editing process, and I'll come back to that after I'm done this because I need to decompress after just sitting here for an hour editing away only to lose all the edits. Love that for me. I don't know how many hours later, but we are still in the same exact spot. It is now 7:30. I just finished editing the podcast. From now on, I know where I will be recording and editing the podcast, because what just happened before this, I will not let happen again. So I'm currently scheduling the podcast to go live for tomorrow, Thursday, January 4th, and just finishing up all of that. And once that is done, I'm closing up shop tonight. There's one other thing that I really wanted to do today to prepare for my meeting, a meeting that I have tomorrow with a real estate agent for shopping for houses. But I'm going to just do that tomorrow at some point because I am tired. I'm sick of staring at a screen, so I just want to relax at this point. So we're gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna make tea, and then I'm gonna sit on the couch and watch a YouTube video before going to bed. Before I go to bed, I always journal if I'm in the mood to. I always journal at least once, and it's typically in the morning. The nightly journaling session is more intense and a little bit more deep and involved. So if I'm feeling up to it, if I have something to write about, I will do it. Otherwise, I will skip that part. But my other goal as of right now that I'm trying to get in the habit of doing is just making sure that I'm reading at least one book a month. And in order to be on track for reading that one book a month, on average, I should be reading around 10 pages a day. So obviously there's some days where I'll go over, but most days I will go over, honestly, but that's just another thing. And that's kind of how I like unwind for the rest of the night. I already did my nighttime skincare routine, so that's all taken care of. But those are the like two things. Actually three things. Tea, journaling if I decide to do it, and reading that I like to end up my night off with. So that's what I'm going to be doing after this. I hope you guys enjoyed this little vlog, maybe learned a thing or two, something new. And I wish you guys the best and happiest new year. I hope this year is great. If you are looking to get more information on goal setting and how I specifically go about the process, I will have that podcast episode linked below, as well as the new podcast that I'm releasing today about budgeting. So I highly recommend checking out those 2 episodes, but maybe even all 3 episodes. There's only 3 episodes out as of right now, so I'll have that all linked below for you guys. But I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys in the next vlog.